for all the great programs that are that we're on with as well. Um, so just want to get started here with a picture of our program that you saw, just all of us together. The first thing we want to talk about is just our program leadership. Kind of brag on that, just to start off. So the first person you see there is our chair, Dr. Alexander. So he's been the chair of the department for a couple of years now, and has really made some incredible strides in growing our department. I believe we've doubled since he took the chair position. We also have great leadership with our program director, Dr. Filer, who's on the call tonight with us, and he's been very attentive and always listened to us. Feels like keeping the residents' wellness is kind of the most important thing to him, and making sure that we feel like we're listened to and implementing all the things that the program directors do. Dr. Rauch's our associate program director. She's an incredible source of sort of advice and wisdom as well. And then in the far right there is our awesome program coordinator. No residency program is complete without someone that's sort of pulling the strings behind the scenes. And if you do decide to apply to our program, he certainly will be. You'll find him as an asset. So next thing I just talk about, this is our inpatient rehab facility. So we're located right in the middle of Chapel Hill, just right downtown in the middle of the campus at UNC. We have a 30-bed inpatient rehab unit currently, with 3 services of 10 patients per service. We do have a new 40-bed unit that will be opening in February of 2022. So and that will be located at the UNC Hillsborough campus, which is about 20 minutes north where we're located now. So that's some exciting new developments with UNC coming in the next couple of years. As far as rotations for our program, so we are a 3 resident per year program. We're considered a categorical program, so you would do all 4 years of your residency right here in Chapel Hill. I think that that's a strong asset of our program, as well as the PM&R focused intern year that we provide. So having the experiences with rheumatology and orthopedics from the MSK side, and building relationships with neurosurgery and their neurology departments have been just an integral and invaluable experience as a resident here, because as you know, or you'll find out when you come through PM&R, that those relationships are very important for your success in medicine. I think in our PGY2 through 4 years with the PM&R residency, we are have a nice mix of inpatient and outpatient experiences. So we do lean a little bit heavy on the inpatient at the beginning, on the second year. So we do 7 months, and then get some outpatient exposure. And I think a nice part of our program is getting the spine exposure early on in the PGY2 year, if that's something that you want to hash out sort of interest for later on. And then in our 3rd and 4th years, we have a nice mix of inpatient as well as our EMG and outpatient experiences. And there's a good amount of flexibility with our schedule too, depending on your interest. So for call schedule, we take 1 week home call. So you start call on Fridays at 5 p.m. A call will end on the next Friday at 8 a.m. When you're on call, you do work the weekend, and that's split between the first and second call resident. So usually we'll split the inpatient census. We'll have somewhere between 12 and 15 patients per resident on the weekends. The majority of the first call is covered by the PGY2s, and that's about 1 week per month in that PGY2 year. And then the PGY3 year, you're on call about 1 week every 3 months, a first call. And then PGY4s do not take any first call. And then for our didactics and education, which of course, the most important part of residency is the learning. We do our weekly didactics on Thursday mornings, which is protected time. Our attendings will cover our pagers, and we have that time to focus on the learning for the week. We have bi-weekly EMG lectures, which are which you attend on your EMG rotation that typically happen during the lunch hour. And then we have a monthly grand rounds, journal club, and M&M that occurs once per month on the second Wednesday of every month. We also have an anatomy and ultrasound workshop that we do based on a region of the body. So we'll focus on the knee for that 1 month, and then the next month, maybe the hip. Go through the anatomy, the exam, and the ultrasound findings that are pertinent. And a few additional lecture series that you see there. So a nice, robust education program that gets us where we need to be by the end of our residency. So I'm going to pass this on to my colleague, Dr. Kayla Yesti.
Thanks, Taylor. So I'm Kayla Yesti. I'm one of the PGY3s also. Thanks everyone for joining us. I'm going to talk a little bit about resident funding. So because we are a categorical program, there's education funds starting in your intern year. So $175 as an intern, and then thereafter you have $350 per year to be used however you would like to allocate that. Additionally, we are automatically funded for membership in PM&R, NEM, and AAP, which is very nice because those are costly. On the UNC campus, there are five hospitals that are connected, and so one of the nice things that the GME provides is what's called Freedom Pay, and so that's a monthly stipend that we receive to be used on food and drinks, including Starbucks, and so we get about $350 per year for that. In terms of conferences, a lot of our residents attend conferences. We are gifted $800 per conference for up to 2 conferences per year, and that is, for you to use to present scholarly material, abstracts, case studies, research that has been accepted to that conference. And then in your PGY3 or 4 year, you are approved for 1 conference to be used strictly for networking, so not necessarily needing that research background. And then we have a pretty robust wellness program at UNC, and there have been donations from faculty, anonymous donors, and typically it's around $3,000 per year for our program. And so I've listed some of the things that we've used those funds for. In terms of research, a lot of people doing presentations at different conferences. So here you can see some of the people who are actually able to attend AAP in Orlando this year. And then on the next slide here, you can see different conferences. So Pain Medicine, Pain Society of the Carolinas. There's Taylor at the Southern Pain Society, American Medical Society for Sports Medicine, AAP in Puerto Rico in 2019. And then here it just talks about post-residency, what people have decided to do. On the left, that's the class of 2020. And so they all decided to match into fellowship. And so we were represented in sports, spine, and pain. But certainly there have been all different domains that people have chosen to go into. And so with that, I'll pass it to Nevin.
Thanks, Kayla. So I'm one of the other PGY3s as well. So we're kind of popcorning around, but I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about diversity. So Dr. Telhan, who you can see in this picture, he's one of our spine physicians. He's kind of the leader of our diversity and inclusion committee, and he works really closely with the medical school here and does a lot of advising and mentoring. And we really pride ourselves on our diversity in multiple ways. We have 1/3 of our residents are female, 1/3 of our residents are from historically underrepresented minority groups. We have a very good mix of MDs and DOs amongst the staff and the residents. So I think we're diverse in many ways. And so I think we really pride ourselves on that. One thing that the UNC Hospitals puts on as a whole is the Office of Diversity and Inclusion Excellence. They put on a Carolina First Look. So this is coming up next month at the end of August, where they allow prospective medical students to take a look at all of the residency programs that the entire medical system has to offer. A little more kind of into our family as background. So here on the far left, you can see the 3 new interns, freshly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They were fresh off their 2-week quarantine after moving down to Chapel Hill when they took this photo. In the middle here, we've got our group of PGY2s at dinner a few weeks ago. And then the far right is the current PGY2s at the top. And then below is the PGY3s. Every year, we've kind of made it now a tradition where we go to a Late Night with Roy, which is a UNC basketball preseason pep rally. So our chair, Dr. Alexander, buys us dinner, and we go hang out with him as interns. So it's a pretty cool thing that he does. Dr. Alexander, our chair, also kind of does monthly dinners with the people. Every month, if your birthday is in January, you'll have a January birthday dinner, things like that. So here's some more pictures of our family as a group. You know, we all love to do things outside of work, because that's a huge part of residency as well, particularly with 4 years of spending time with the same people. So we really pride ourselves on really getting to know our attendings. So this is kind of just a picture of our inpatient residents in Halloween 2019. They all dressed up as their attendings. So on the left, you have the spinal.
I think your sound cut out.
I think we are having some difficulties with the audio and the video, so we'll give them a time to kind of come back, and maybe if we have a residents on board from UNC, they can answer some questions. If there's questions while we wait, the rest of the team to kind of get the presentation and everything else on board.
Hey everybody, I'm just going to jump in here. My name is Will Filer. I'm the program director for UNC. So I'm going to let whichever the residents can pull up the slides again. They can hopefully continue in a second. But I wanted to just introduce a little event that we're holding. I know a lot of the people that are applying this cycle haven't had as much opportunity to get to know the field, to do some aware rotations. And so we decided after some discussion to try and put something together just to help people get to know the field a little bit better. And so coordinating with the 2 other programs in the state of North Carolina, with ECU, who we heard from earlier, and then also Atrium, we put together this lecture series. Hopefully you can see the, I'll put this link in the chat box so you guys can go to it. It's also on our department Twitter site. But it's a 9-week, hour-long discussion virtual lecture series with time for Q&A with a lot of the faculty at the 3 institutions. So hopefully it'll be a good opportunity for you guys to get a little bit more of a deep dive in some of these topics you might not be able to see during your rotations. And I'll see if we're ready to let somebody else jump in here with the screen share.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We were able to see it, and thanks for sharing that. We really appreciate, Doc. Let's see if the rest of the team is ready.
Hey, y'all, can you hear me now? Sorry about that.
Yes, we can. You're good to go.
All right, I'm going to start picking up. I'm going to take the video off and see if that helps. Sorry about that. But real quick about the UNC and North Carolina in general. Thanks for filling in there, Dr. Filer. So we're kind of in the middle there in Chapel Hill. And so we're kind of close to Raleigh, which is the capital. And you can see Chapel Hill, Durham, and Raleigh, they kind of create what we call a triangle. So that's kind of a common area that you'll hear. And we're kind of in the middle of the state. And we are really greatly located because we have the nice variety of getting to the beach just a few hours away to the east, and then the mountains a few hours to the west. You've also got, you know, Nashville not too far away, Charleston, Washington, D.C. So a lot of places to really kind of enjoy and travel to. A couple kind of pictures. These are kind of some scenic views from residents over the last couple of years of recent travels to the mountains and beach. You know, they look like stock photos, but they definitely are not, just with how great the outdoors is here. So that's definitely a huge plus of the area, the weather and how much outdoors activities you're going to have. Here's some more waterfalls at one of the mountains over in Asheville. In the middle there is Andy's dog making a little cameo, one of our PGY2s, and some other nice views from a recent hike.
Hey, Evan, just want to give you a heads up. You have 5 minutes left.
Great, thanks. And this is kind of back to the triangle a little bit, what we were talking about. So you've got UNC here in Chapel Hill, Duke and Durham, and then NC State and Raleigh. And so Duke and UNC have two big medical centers. So there's a lot in our area and a lot to do. So you definitely are in a very good place to live. There's a lot of trails. There's a lot of sports activities, concerts. Obviously, a lot of that is on hold currently with the pandemic, but still, nevertheless, a great place to live. Some of our affiliations, so we volunteer with Bridge to Sports. So this is an adaptive sports program that we can work with. So this is some of us playing some wheelchair basketball last year. Here's Greg Franklin, one of our PGY4s last year, who is now in Spine Fellowship. He was doing some sports coverage. So we have a sports medicine fellowship here, which Mike Boyd, our other PGY4 last year, matched to. So we'll be working pretty closely with him and the sports department in terms of getting coverage and really if you're interested in that part of PM&R. Another nice collaboration we have is with Life Rolls On. And so this is another adaptive sports event where we have individuals with disabilities come out to the beach for a weekend and we help them surf. So you can kind of see over here on the left what that looks like. It's kind of like Christmas for them, just getting in the water, which is really cool. So we've sent residents out to this event maybe, last 3 or 4 years. Another event that we help host is the Eric Montross basketball camp. It's a Father's Day camp that he puts on. He's a former UNC basketball player. So we kind of help with some of the testing and drills for the kids. And, part of resident wellness. So last year we did, half a day of kind of some professionalism and mock interviews. And then we also played some ultimate frisbee. Andy, one of our PGY2s, is a professional ultimate frisbee player. So she made us look pretty bad, but it was a pretty good time. And then kind of like what Dr. Feiler was talking about, just kind of highlighting our upcoming series, the introduction of PM&R that our faculty are going to be sharing. So, obviously this is just a little taste into what our program is, but there's some of our contact information. All of our residents are very willing to help out. And if you have any questions about our program or anything about PM&R in general, I think you're joining a great field wherever you end up. So we're really excited to see kind of where everyone ends up. And then unfortunately, it's under strange circumstances this year, but I think we're all going to make the best of it. And I think PM&R Scholars is doing a great job with kind of giving everyone the information and disseminating that in a very valuable forum. So.
All right, man. Thanks so much for your presentation. Have about 30 seconds, a minute left. So I just want to emphasize if you guys want to share your email there so students can reach out as well. And thanks again for the presentation. The next up is Vanderbilt. So have 30 seconds or so for questions. Otherwise, Vendy is coming.
I see one question. Our Carolina First Look event is virtual. And I'll put that link in the chat if anybody wants to look at it too.
Thank you very much. All right. Do we have Vanderbilt ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready to go. Can you guys see my screen? It looks like it's blank.
We can see your screen. We cannot see you guys, but we can certainly see your screen.
Gotcha. Can you see? Let's see. I'll start the video here. All right. Can
There
you
you
see?
go.
Good deal.
Yep.
And can you guys see the PowerPoint?
Yes, sir. We can see the PowerPoint as well.
Perfect. Perfect.
All right. Your 20 minutes are up. You are good to go.